December 18, 2022. 1 billion people watched as Lionel Messi stood exactly one game away from ending the longest-running debate in football history. The story of this tournament is often told as a one-man carry, but Messi's performance, while historic, was a single component in a much larger machine. He provided the critical goals and leadership necessary to survive the bracket, yet credit for the success belongs to a collective system that finally learned how to support him. Focusing only on the superstar ignores the 36-year psychological odyssey that transformed a nation of individuals into a functional team. The pressure on the 2022 squad was inherited from 1986. Diego Maradona's triumph created a benchmark so high that it became a curse, haunting every generation that followed. Through the 1990s and early 2000s, the cycle repeated. Argentina consistently fielded world-class talent, only to face early exits and penalty shootout losses that left the nation's high expectations unmet. The heartbreak peaked in 2014. Despite reaching the final, a single German goal in extra time forced Argentina to watch another team lift the trophy. That defeat preceded two more losses in the 2015 and 2016 finals, both decided by penalties. By 2016, the emotional toll was visible. Messi announced his retirement from the national team, leaving the country to believe their chance at a title had officially passed. Decades of possessing the world's finest players had only resulted in repeated psychological collapse. Talent alone was failing. After another disorganized exit in 2018, the national team lacked a clear identity. The squad appeared to be a collection of names rather than a unified force. In this vacuum, Argentina appointed Lionel Scaloni. He had no prior experience as a first-team manager, and his selection was met with open skepticism from the public and the press. Scaloni ignored the traditional reliance on fame. He demanded tactical discipline and a willingness from every player to accept a specific, often unglamorous role. This approach saw isolated egos begin to lock into place, forming a cohesive tactical unit built on collective chemistry. Prioritizing these tactical needs over individual branding was the first major step in rebuilding the team's culture. Scaloni integrated a new generation of players who prioritized physical aggression and high-intensity running. Rodrigo de Paul became the engine of this shift. Midfielders like Enzo Fernandez added defensive bite and a level of ball control that allowed the team to dictate the tempo of matches. These players respected Messi, but they refused to wait for him to solve every problem. They viewed themselves as his protectors, willing to expend every ounce of energy to keep him in scoring positions. Tactically, this meant forwards defended deep, and midfielders pressed relentlessly. For the first time in years, Argentina looked comfortable suffering together when they didn't have the ball. Surrounding their primary attacker with a group of selfless soldiers allowed the team to remain stable under pressure. Argentina arrived in Qatar on a massive unbeaten streak. The global hype had created a sense of security that would be tested almost immediately. The opening loss to Saudi Arabia was a shock that threatened to end their tournament before it truly began. Historically, an upset of this magnitude would cause an Argentine squad to fracture. Internal blame would usually replace tactical discipline, but this group didn't turn on each other. Instead, they recognized their own overconfidence and treated every subsequent group match with the intensity of a final, earning the momentum they had lost. Providing a stabilizing presence was Emiliano Martinez. His confidence behind the defense addressed the team's long-standing anxieties in goal. This opening failure became the necessary crucible, stripping away the team's ego and replacing it with the urgency needed to win. In the final against France, Argentina dominated the first 70 minutes. They were inches away from a straightforward victory. Then the familiar nightmare returned. Kylian Mbappe scores twice in rapid succession, erasing the lead and reviving decades of national trauma. Extra time ended in a 3-3 deadlock. The match proceeded to penalties, the exact scenario that had broken previous Argentine teams. This time, the squad's internal bond held. Driven by their collective identity and the intimidating presence of Martinez, they maintained their composure throughout the shootout. The final penalty ended 36 years of national agony, providing a moment of total catharsis for the fans in the stands. Surviving a blown lead in the final proved that the cultural reset was genuine. They had finally conquered their deepest psychological demons. Success at the world's highest level was built on a foundation of leadership and sacrifice. Messi finished his career with the one trophy he lacked, but the nation finished something even larger, a 36-year story of redemption. For more analysis on the history and tactics of the beautiful game, subscribe to Goal Reactor.